Welcome back to the Realist Reviews. Today's review is focused on Amazon's original I Know What You Did Last Summer, Episode 5, entitled Mukbang. And the official synopsis of Mukbang is: the police question everyone in town with any connections to the victims. The crew thinks that they know who is after them and hunt for evidence implicating the town eccentric. And before I give up my review, please like and subscribe and comment and tell me what I should review next. And I would say when it comes with episode 5, I felt like episode 5, it really wasn't a bad episode. More evidence comes into light with some surprising revelations and a crazy psychotic killer still on the loose. So the episode just starts off with just Margot having a huge mukbang of her own, as she is just eating just different candies, sweets, just all kinds of just different things. I guess she is just really depressed after losing her best friend and everything, and she is just sorrowing out her sadness and just all types of just bad candies and everything else. We then see Dylan, who was doing some pretty shady things in the caves, until he is confronted by Clara with a crazy big knife filled with blood, and he just runs out of Dodge. Sometime later, the town has a huge meeting with everyone, trying to just discuss all the crazy killings that's just happened, and as well as just this crazy psychotic killer on the loose and everything, as the police decides that everyone is going to be interviewed that knows all the victims, and just try to just get to the bottom, just like what is going on. And then we get a scene of just Allison and Bruce just talking about different things, and Bruce just warning her about be careful about not saying the wrong thing so that people won't get like any type of like red flags towards her and everything else. Margot decides to visit Riley and everything to catch up, and the two just talk about different things that has happened in their lives when it comes to just with Allison and Lennon. And the two both think that Lennon has been acting pretty weird ever since that she's returned from back home and everything. Allison tries to figure out who is this mysterious person on Facebook is. She discovers that her OnlyFans has been deleted. And then Dylan, he talks to her and tells her about who he suspects as the serial killer and everything else. And that is Claire. And I think that Claire is just a weird person. And I think that she is definitely hiding something that she is not letting on and everything, as she has stalked a few of the main characters already, and she saw them do what they did last summer. So after the interrogation is over, the gang decides to go to Clara's place and try to find any type of evidence that could implicate her as the killer. So then they break into her place and they make a pretty gruesome discovery, as there's a whole nother side of just abandoned places that is just filled with just pretty weird miscellaneous things, photos, books, all types of just weird things. And the gang decides to split up to find something useful. Allison makes a weird discovery that her father and Clara was once married, and sometime later Clara returns home and the gang is in some trouble, as Clara is on a mission to make some t-shirts, and somehow, some way, the gang somehow escapes from all of that craziness. The gang returns back home. Allison, she decides to leave her father's after learning that weird discovery about him and Clara, and decides to go see Margot. And during that, the serial killer targets another victim and gets it. And I do not know who this killer gets. And I felt like this wasn't a bad episode, as some more evidence was brought into light and everything. And when it comes to suspects and everything, I think that it may be Clara as the killer, because she does know the gang's secret of what they did last summer. And maybe she doesn't like what they did, and she feels as if like many other people have to suffer because of it. I do not know. I understand flashbacks are necessary, But why do we need a flashback like every 10 to 15 minutes of like irrelevant scenes? I think the only flashbacks that we need so far is flashbacks of the moment when Lennon was killed and just flashbacks of who the killer actually is, like showing the killer actually doing what they're doing and their explanations as in why they're doing this. But out of all, not a bad episode. Only time will tell with what happens next. So thank you for watching, and until next time, goodbye.